This just in, breaking news, our top story tonight, Bitcoin is back. And with prices breaking $10,000, the community has only one question on their mind. When moon? Next up, more news has called into question the legitimacy of the ICO Seele. If there was only some way people could have known. Also tonight, Litecoin founder Charlie Lee called Litecoin Cash a scam. That's right guys, stick to legitimate forks like Bitcoin Plutonium. Also tonight, founder of Bitgrail comes under fire that the hack of Nano from their site was an inside job that he was part of. At this point, it seems the only thing that could save Nano is maybe some kind of rebrand, something catchy like Rayblox. I don't know. And finally tonight, a musical guest appearance from someone you won't want to miss. All of this and more tonight on Crypto News. We've got a great video lined up today. Definitely going to want to stay tuned till the end. But I have a few things I want to go over real quick. First off, I know you guys have been clamoring for cryptocurrency related posters. I just got 6 or 7 in. I think we did a pretty good job. Next up on Monday, Jason Les is going to be joining me on my podcast channel. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, the market, everything that's going on. So make sure to stay tuned for that. It's going to be over on my podcast channel at 3 p.m. Pacific time. This was also some pretty exciting news. I tweeted out asking who you guys would like to see in the podcast. Someone suggested Charlie Lee, and I said that would be awesome. And he actually responded saying that he would do it. And I'm now talking with him to schedule out when he's going to come on the podcast. So we've got some great guests lined up. I'm excited for the podcast. Make sure you guys head over there and subscribe so you don't miss it. The link is in the description below. And finally, we're continuing to add t-shirts to the Coin Central store. All designs are done by my girlfriend, Caitlin. We come up with all these things together. So make sure you head over there and check out the latest fashions. Nothing says style like NL Hodlum, or maybe a t-shirt for those a bit confused by the technology. Are the markets taking a turn for the worse? Well, stay trendy with Panic at the Crypto. We're going to continue to add shirts into the store. If there's anything that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below, and keep in mind that most of the suggestions normally suck. All right, moving on. Bitcoin. How you doing? It's starting to look like Bitcoin, as well as most of the other digital assets, are poised for a breakout run with a week straight of gains across the board. Whenever Bitcoin price surges, most of the altcoin markets do as well, and oftentimes we see some coins breaking out in a huge way. Did somebody say cheap hot altcoins? We've seen some especially large gains from Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Z Classic, and Wax. These price increases are always hard to exactly peg why they happened, but it's pretty clear on at least a couple of them. For Z Classic, the upcoming Bitcoin private fork had people excited about getting in because they can get Bitcoin private for the price of a Z Classic rather than the price of a Bitcoin. So a lot of people are getting in through Z Classic that way. Ethereum Classic is having an airdrop and people wanted to get in and not miss out on potentially free money, I'll say. Wax jumped huge because it was listed on Bittrex, which is one of the biggest exchange sites out there. And then Litecoin is a little bit more complex. I actually don't think it's because of the upcoming fork that Charlie Lee called a scam. I think it's because Litecoin has been having some generally positive news in other areas. Taking those forward to the side, it's been smooth sailing for almost all cryptocurrencies in the last week, and we'll have to see if this bull run continues. As a quick note, I'm not a financial advisor. All investments have risk. This channel is for information and entertainment. I am not a financial advisor. I'm going to say this a million times. Moving on, the Litecoin fork is on the horizon. Now, Charlie Lee has called this fork a scam, and Litecoin has dismissed the project. Charlie Lee also tweeted out, "Any fork of Litecoin calling itself Litecoin something or other is a scam, IMO. Litecoin Cash, Litecoin Plus, all scams trying to confuse users into thinking they are Litecoin. This also applies to all Bitcoin forks trying to confuse." I wonder who he's referencing. For the record, I don't think Bitcoin Cash is a scam. It's just not Bitcoin. But Bitcoin Diamond, that's a scam! One of the main reasons this makes no sense to me is that the reason that Bitcoin Cash forked off was because that there were problems with Bitcoin's network. Transaction times were slow and expensive, and they wanted to make it fast and cheap. Litecoin transfers are already fast and cheap, so what's the fucking point? I honestly don't know if this is even going to result in people having tokens. Apparently you're supposed to get 10 Litecoin Cash for every 1 Litecoin, but this could just be a straight up scam. There's really no way to know. I will say if you end up being issued tokens, I would normally advocate to just sell them for more of your Litecoin or more of another currency and move on with your life. Generally speaking, these forked coins tend to not really have much long-term potential because usually they're the same or worse than the original coin. That's not always true. Obviously, Ethereum today forked off of Ethereum Classic, so not always the case. But in general, unless you see a clear vision or plan for the new coin, I would say it's better off to not hold it. Moving on to our next topic, and this one is kind of crazy with the timing, but the ICO Seele, which I still don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, has come across some more potential issues. This thread is currently fairly high up on the cryptocurrency subreddit. Be aware of Seele scam. Today is the whitelist opening of Seele, and I have to share my DD because that's the biggest ripoff I have seen for a long time. Number one, the CEOs aren't blockchain experts. If you search for the CEOs and others in their university's homepage, such as Dr. B. Wei, you can see that he was a glaucoma researcher there. How crazy is this? If you do it with the other members too, you'll see that they have been PhD students there, but that's it. Nothing blockchain related at all. Seems legit. People from that groups at those universities have been asked if they know them. They do, and they say they have absolutely nothing to do with blockchain. Number two, the white paper. It's a joke. Some gibberish phrasing to fool people. The best part is the end with the references. 4 references and 3 of them to Wikipedia. I've got to say, when I start to see all the tech mumbo jumbo, I'm not really the guy that's going to be able to discern whether something is a scam or some super high tech stuff because frankly, it's confusing. And unless you're actually a developer or someone that really knows what's going on, it's going to be kind of tough to tell. That's why you should be super careful when it comes to these things and make sure that you're getting involved in something with people that you can trust.
Then you've got market depth, not really sure what that is.
This post goes on to talk about Peter Du and explains how there are questions as to this guy's legitimacy or if he even exists at all. This guy thinks that the whole thing's a complete scam, which wouldn't be too surprising because they already had almost $2 million stolen by people who were admins in the group that then told people to send them money. The facts here seem clear. Even if there's a small chance this is a legit project, the risks far outweigh the benefits. There's already been a scam. There's questions as to the legitimacy of the team members. This is definitely something you wouldn't want to get into and probably something you wouldn't want to be promoting to your audience.
The opportunity is still amazing. And if you want the best chance of getting involved in it, if you want to pass this exam to get into the whitelist, then this course is the best way.
This ordeal has to be getting a bit awkward for Suppoman, who had been forcing people to pay and then pay again to get his secret ICO pick, which was Seele. Suppo posted a video a couple of days ago apologizing to his audience where he made quite the passionate plea.
You'd have to be an idiot, really, to think that I'm scamming you.
He also had a way with words when it came to his followers who were questioning his intentions, and he let them know exactly how he felt about it. Doug Polk brought me here. This sort of thing is common on the internet though, but still, what an embarrassment for Brits. Suppoman responded, did he? Well, goes to show what a fucking doormat you are. Fuck off and stay broke, you retard. Ooh. That's just not very nice. It remains to be seen what happens from here, but I definitely recommend being careful when it comes to listening to Suppoman. And finally, let's talk about this recent scandal that Bitgrail had gotten hacked for a large amount of Nano. If you're not familiar with what Nano is, it's Rayblox, but they rebranded over to the name Nano. The move frankly made a lot of sense. There were many other companies out there with the name Rayblox, and by moving over to a more unique name like Nano, it could certainly clear up some potential confusion. Seriously though, this move made no sense to me. You go from a name that's very unique, that people honestly kind of liked and ranked super high in Google, over to a name that's extremely common and no one's ever going to be able to find by search. I mean, search what is Rayblox, it's going to be right there, and search what is Nano, how are you going to find it? We also spent a lot of time becoming the 3rd highest link for what is Rayblox. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about Rayblox, we have an article from coincentral.com in the description below. Back on topic, according to this article from Cointelegraph, it's impossible to refund the stolen amount, says Bitgrail's Francesco Ferrano, the founder of Bitgrail. Cointelegraph talked to Francesco. The Italian exchange apparently hit by a cyber attack that would have caused the loss of a considerable amount of Nano tokens, formerly known as Rayblox. Bitgrail froze trading Thursday, February 8th. The exchange stated that 17 million Nano had been stolen from the hack, an amount worth $190 million at the time the losses were discovered. Francesco tweeted out, all those who threaten me with death Could they do it neatly under this tweet? It starts to get tiresome looking at all my posts. Sometimes bad news happens. And when bad news happens, you got to get in front of the story. Say something to control the narrative. Like, oh yeah, you lost your money? Talk shit here. What now? Yeah, say some mean shit to me. Cointelegraph asked, how does the Bitgrail team respond to allegations that it tried to cover up the theft through requests to the Nano team? Francesco, we, unlike them, have nothing to hide. We are not forced to defame making accusations without evidence. I can see they're very stressed by this matter. This response is kind of weird to me. He didn't really answer the question, he just sort of shifted the blame. It was a question of how, and he said that they are hiding something. Doesn't really make any sense. I feel like a better response would have been like, a mistake has been made here and we're doing our best to try and recover the funds and figure out what happened. We apologize to our customers and we're going to do everything within our power to make it right, although we don't know enough information to say more at this time. Or something like that. Instead, you're like, yeah, those guys, get them! Get them! Those guys, get them! Over there. They got your money. Those guys. In the court of public opinion, there were many people who feel that Bitgrail was actually behind the money that was lost, but I don't realistically think that we're ever going to get to know. That's going to be it from me, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. But before we go, we do have a quick musical performance.
They call me Superman. Seele ICOs till they exit scam. Then you're banned. Got no fans on Telegram. I never let another YouTuber rant when I'm promoting the shit. Don't you snitch. You get clipped by crypto Nick. Super Wayne disclosing shit. Bro, you can save 92%. Straight from the hip. Cut to the chest.